Hello once again, or possibly for the first time. This is Memory Pending, reading Daedalus Matrix by yours truly. It was rather strange to think about. While you wouldn't be bold enough to say you had ever really been friends with Ria Skamari, you did try to maintain at the very least a positive acquaintanceship with her, which was just being friendly in general, which was usually rather easy for you, since being nice is just pretty natural. And while you look over at Rias thinking about the time you had seen her with demonic wings while casting magic, you also think to the holiday rounding the corner. You sigh. Valentine's Day. Besides the fact that you could buy chocolate en masse for nearly a quarter of the price, which, given your indoor cocoa farm, didn't really make much sense, especially since most of the pods would be ready for harvest in a few weeks, after the torturous holiday had passed. And there is nothing better than making your own chocolate after the 7 years of devotion you had given those saplings. 7 whole years. God damn. You rest your cheek on your fizz as you turn to look out the window. You had ordered one pod which had provided you with just about 50 seeds to work with, and every day for 7 years you had taken care of each one of those plants. And while you could sell cocoa pods left, right, and center, you were literally the only place to obtain them in Japan. You had really fought with your parents about keeping them. Seeing how your mom didn't work her job anymore and only cared for the plants all day, it was safe to say you were correct in remaining firm those 7 years. Well, 5 really. The past 2 years were just finally getting the trees to pollinate properly, which required making a honey farm as well, which had scared you to death at first, but bees are pretty cool, and selling honey on the side wasn't bad either. Although the upgrade to the greenhouse that allowed the bees to coexist with the cocoa trees costed a pretty penny as well. God, it's like you've been raising children or insisting on letting some freeloader live with your parents for years now. Hello. Look up at the crimson-haired girl who was waving a hand in front of your face. Oh, sorry. I guess I spaced out. You put it on a smile. How can I help you? We're partnered up for today's activities, Ria said. You need me to explain what we're doing? She asked. Is it different from what's written on the board? You asked, looking over the chalkboard and groaning. Please tell me it's different from what's written on the board. Sadly not, she gave you a curious look. This is supposed to be a rather fun activity. And don't you like being creative? She asked. As a frequent customer to having custom-made chocolates, Ria did know that you did indeed love art and craft. Yeah, but I don't like Valentine's Day, you groaned. Really, you don't seem the type to be alone on Valentine's Day, she said. In fact, I thought you'd be much happier about this day. Doesn't it bring a lot of business? Yeah, you sighed, taking up a piece of paper and let your hands get to work. It brings an absolute metric ton of work, and the heart-shaped presses almost never get used otherwise. But I've always hated this holiday. Your hands tell your brain that they're done, and you present an elaborate 3D heart that you push down to being completely flat before writing a wonderful evening on it and pulling a flap, causing it to inflate again. Why? She asks. You shrug, taking up some more paper and pulling some loose stuff from your pockets. You scheme for a few moments before beginning to fold paper. I guess it's always been pretty meh, but recently I just don't like even. But recently I just don't even like seeing other people on the day. You said. Well, I know we aren't the closest of friends, so it would be rude to pry. But how about you ask me a question you think would be worth trading for? She asked. Then we can maybe become a little closer and you can get over this phase, she smiled. You stare at her for a moment and mentally rub your chin. Well, don't take this as me being hostile or anything, but I'm curious. How does someone protect themselves from people like you? You mean teenage girls? Ria asked, smiling. If you want to keep us as a friend, but you want to make it clear that you aren't interested, I would suggest... No, I mean demons. You continue tinkering with your project. I saw you a few months ago, like October or something. Well, I can tell you aren't up to anything that requires putting me or, well, anyone in danger. How can I protect myself from the ones who don't really care about the lives of us petty mortals? What? She asked. Yes, I know you wouldn't hurt me, not for no reason or over this. But knowing people like you But knowing people like you exist is still a little scary, you said. You must have just seen us working on a movie, Ria said. You sigh, finishing your catapult, and you poke Ria's cheek. I saw you using magic to I saw you. I saw you using magic to teleport or whatever. You should be more careful. This school does give extended attentions. I don't know what you want me to tell you. You must have been tired. You squish your cheeks together. If that's the case, then I wouldn't even remember it. You rubbed your cheeks. And you should try some of our cocoa butter. It's good for your skin. You point your catapult into the crowd and load in a heart. You fire the shot off and it goes sailing through the air and bounces off one of the lights and then it's perfectly between Reese's bus. And I didn't plan that. He sighed. There's no getting past there. There's no getting past you, is there? She asked, taking the heart out of her bosom and looking at the note. Have a slightly above average day? Well, besides... what the fuck? Rhea sighed. Well, besides being very religious, there isn't really a way to deter a devil from entering your home. You groan at that, but church is so boring, you said, watching as Rhea takes your heart and begins to erase that note you left, replacing with some much more sickening messages, such as Happy Valentine's Day, or I hope she says yes. I prefer the other religion, they're so much more entertaining. Well, anyways, it's your turn, Rhea said. You scoffed at that. Really? You barely answered my question. You basically said to attend church. Well, I can't just disclose a way to kill a devil to you, she said. Surely you understand that. You think, looking at her for a moment. If I had to guess, you must have turned someone into a devil not too long ago, your upper chin. It's gotta be that pervert, you said. Your secret gear really is something else, she muttered to herself. He's rather stupid and easily persuaded, you mused to yourself for a moment. I'd hate to have to kill you over something like this, she said. If you do kill me before Valentine's Day, I'd rather not suffer through it. If you do kill me for Valentine's Day, I'd rather not have to suffer through it. She could tell you were taking her seriously, and a seething hot pain shot into your chest as she placed her hand over the burning spot. I'm serious. She shoots you a cold look and you move her hand away. Ow. And like I said before, even though you're a demon or a devil or whatever, I know that you aren't the type to kill me over this, you said, rubbing her chest. Yes, but messing with my family is a different story, she said. She put on a glare and you launched a heart at her face. I don't know why you think you're scary in broad daylight surrounded by kids our age, but you're not, you said, pointing the cannon out towards the teacher. Maybe if it was like a full moon in the graveyard and you went full wings and magic on me, I might even pee myself. Boom! Headshot! Detention, your teacher sighs calmly. She reads the note and smiles. Never mind. She placed the note in her drawer and you looked at Rias. Anyways, how are you at getting things a teenage girl like yourself shouldn't have access to? You asked. Rias raised an eyebrow at you. Well, being nearly mortal, we can get anything within time. Obvious attempt to take my soul is very obvious. You roll your eyes. Hey, listen, she smiled. If you live forever, you can tinker and build for as long as you. Will you steal me the stuff I want, you asked? Not personally, but I'm sure I can convince someone to do it, she said. Well, I'm not that easily recruited, especially not during such a shifty time of the year. Tonight there's a public display of some nanobots that are going to be used to cure cancer or something. You roll your eyes at the idiocracy, but those idiots don't realize the power source they're using could lead to body trauma months or even days after the therapy, resulting in paralysis of the cured area. And yet, if you have brain cancer, I imagine you'll probably drop dead after it was all over. You hand her a USB, so be sure to leave that there once you're done, so they can make something more humane to use for such a delicate treatment. You check one of your hearts and see that it's filled with some romantic garbage. Gross. You roll your eyes and refuse to send out such good feelings to the rest of the class. Well, anyways, when you get it, just leave the package out in some dark alley or something. I'll send a drone to pick it up, you said. But I know where you live. Why not just drop it off at your house? For obvious security reasons. I can't just bring it to the place I sleep without making sure none of them have some sort of tracking device on them. But that's why we have magic, she said. We can easily cancel out any tracking device and put a bell rang and you stood up. Just leave it in an alleyway, you said. I don't need to get away from all this. I need to get away from all this lovey-dovey crap. Later that night, you're watching the Science News channel and you've already seen that the nanobots have already gone missing, but you find it interesting how they decided to carry on with the science display, which is by trash talking whoever sold their creation. Basically saying that they've doomed the race and you've got visitors. You look over to the door and see your dad for some reason shit. You look over to your door and see your dad who, for some reason, has a really goofy look on his face. So hurry on downstairs. You nod and turn off your computer and begin powering up your drone control center. Tell them I'll be right down, you said, stretching before heading downstairs. You see both of your parents pointing to the door and you give them a bizarre look before opening the door to reveal a handful of gorgeous girls wearing bright red with hearts decorating their entire outfit. Happy Valentine's Day, they all exclaim, smiling. Rias is among the group and you see them holding out a suitcase. They came all the way here just for you, your mother is saying. Isn't that great, honey? God bless you all, they all wince in pain. But I hate Valentine's Day, so please go away. But aren't you forgetting something? Rias asks, holding out the suitcase. You feel your body freeze up and you watch as your mom hands the girl some money. Please, we need him to get this Please, we need him to get over this phase. Go take him to a motel or something. He'll only be paralyzed for an hour at most, so you'll have to tie him down, your dad said. What the A black-haired girl covers your mouth and nods. Well, be sure to show him a great time. Alright, I don't know if I explained this very well, but the reason his body freezed up is because his mom hit him with a dart. And I should add that to the story later, but we'll move on for now. Alright, so it seems you're a pawn piece, Ria said, which isn't as bad as it sounds, since you can be promoted to any other piece, besides king, of course. Alright, whatever, I don't care, untie me, he said. I don't know, Aquino said. Your parents paid good money for something to happen to you tonight. She licked her lips at you sadistically. I'm warning you, I have a backup plan just in case some backstabbing went down. And whatever would that be, she asked. You click a small button under your tongue and activate the speakers on the side of your cheeks. The fitness gram paper test. Shit, you click it again. And on that day, God said let there be light. You click the button again. That fucking hurt. Yes it did, Ria said, cutting you loose. Now about our little discussion from class. I think I've had up my end of the bargain, so why do you hate Valentine's Day so much? It's obvious that you being alone isn't the problem, one of the younger girls said. Shut up. I currently only know one of you, and just like all of you. Why in the world would I disclose such information? Because you went through the trouble of getting your little toys. You roll your eyes at the display of ignorance. That's like some guy getting you a ring and being like, well, I spent all this money, you've got a bang, right? You said, putting on your best douchebag impression. Well, yes, I believe you should give him a courtesy. Well, someone's sexually related, he said, cutting her off. You begin training after school tomorrow. Ha ha ha. You give her a robotic laugh. No. I'm keeping my belly fat, thank you for asking. You put on a fake smile, and Ria suddenly has a flaming aura around her as she shoots you a glare. You will begin training tomorrow. This is undebatable. I am the... You put in your earplugs and open your mouth and begin letting out the Bible flow and begin letting the Bible flow out of your mouth. It still hurts a bit, but not nearly as much as It still hurts a bit, but not nearly as much. And so with your mouth kept hanging open, you walk out of the motel and begin making your way back home. Where you then set the alarm to sound to be that of a priest blessing people, just in case they try to break in or Rias appeared in front of you, just before you confirm the order. Shit, now you can't, since she's already here in the house, and it will be by, since she's already in the house and will be by default registered as a welcome guest. I see. Shit, now you can't, since she's already in the house and will I went so long without doing something like that. Shit, nah, you can't, since she's already in the house and will be by default registered as a welcome guest. It is traditional. Tradition. What the fuck? Alright. It is traditional for my family that the new demons spend their first night with their master. You sigh and switch on the lie detector. Are you being serious, you ask? Yes, I've done this with every member of my peerage, she said. The lie detector didn't go off and you sighed. Fine, I guess I'll start working on this tomorrow, you said, before putting the casement and the boss aside and looking over her. Don't worry, I'll change, she said. You raised an eyebrow at that. Into what? Your underwear? She laughed. She laughed. Don't be ridiculous. I never sleep in my underwear. She smiled. And you looked at her, the lie detector. My favorite color is black. Beep. Alright, magic, or whatever. You shrugged and grabbed something to change into before turning off the machine and heading to the bathroom. You know, for an inventor and someone who creates chocolate, I thought your room to be messier, Rhea said, lying down beside you. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint. You clap your hands and the window curtain opens. Rhea looked out the window to see the view of the street before the glass shimmers and changes to a view of the moon hanging over a gentle... shit. I hate when I lose my spot. And changed it to the view of the moon hanging over gentle hills covered with green grass. The moonlight gently bathed the room with its silvery light and let a yawn. But it would really mess with my room if there was clutter everywhere. The floors and walls shifted to that of a small wooden cabin. You know, this is actually a fairly romantic background, she said. Well, I don't have another one for going to sleep, so Rhea wraps her arms around you. I know this is going to be very difficult for you this first couple of weeks, but I know that you're a great addition to my family. She pulls you into her chest. You feel your brain pause for a moment before looking up at her. It is almost like some bullshit fairy tale moment how beautiful she looks, with the moon behind her. She smiled. I don't think I've ever had such a scenic moment with anyone else before, she said. Do not even pretend that this is a normal thing, you said. You feel blood rush into your face. Why are you naked? I always sleep naked. I can't see to fall asleep otherwise, she said, combing her fingers through your hair. You don't seem to mind too much. I am a man after all, your voice trails off. Insert witty response here, you sigh, leaning into her chest. What's wrong, she asked. Being a demon doesn't make you any less of a man. Not in my opinion. It wasn't the easiest thing for you to explain, but you sat up and pulled Rias into your chest. As room was completely silent, but it was completely silent. You can trust me with something serious, she said. Just listen closely, you said. Some time passed before Rias looked up at you. What happened to you? She asked, placing a hand over where your heart used to be. Maybe some other night, you mutter. It was easy enough for you to stitch up a uniform for Rias before she woke up, which in turn saved her time from rushing home to go change and allowed the both of you to walk to school together, into your first class together, and the class after that, and the class after that, and do we have the same Do we have the same exact schedule or something, you asked, as you just... I was doing so well. Do we have the same exact schedule or something? You asked as Rias dragged you by the arm to your next shared class. I guess we do, Rias said. What do you want to do for lunch? I'm going to hang out with my friends, you said. You can go do whatever. But most of your friends are loud and obnoxious, she said. Fuck you, they're hilarious, you argued. Just sit with my friends today, she said. Continue to drag you off. Oh, are you going to be giving away free chocolates? Like how you did during Christmas? No, you put on a fake smile. Well, we are still taking requests for custom chocolates on the website. And if you follow my social media to get a permanent discount on all purchases, even tech-related stuff. Wait, even those windows? Rias asked. You nod. How are you two? Hey, you nod. Hey, are you two like dating now? One of the girls asked. I mean, I totally supported over you dating that pervert. You notice Rias twitch in anger before you flick her forehead. No, I just ended up seeing this as brat at a family Let me have a sip. A little sip of something. And where the fuck am I mean, I totally support it over you dating that pervert. Notice his twitch in anger before you flicker forward. No, I just ended up seeing this brat at a family reunion, which was rather surprising for the both of us. That smells like incest, you chuckle and look back under your brows. Oh dude, are we still going hunting later, you ask? Can you buy us a new bow? Because if you recall, that bear kinda broke ours, he said. Yeah, sure, whatever, just send me the bill. He said, wait, when is this little hunting trip? Rias asked, can I come? She asks. She asks again. Nah. Wait, when is this little hunting trip? Rias asked, can I come? Of course, he smiled. Not. You added. Of course not. No. He crosses his arms at you. And why not, Mr. Wincest? Because I don't feel comfortable having Rias around all the time. Well, if you lost the belly fat, fight me. You feel someone poke at your stomach. Oh, you do have a belly. A bunch of girls begin poking at you and your eyes twitch before you remove yourself from the table. You let out a sigh and begin eating chocolate as you walk off. You better not always be this goddamn clingy. You wince from the use of God's name. I won't be, I promise. But it's been a while since we've gotten another guy. In fact, my boyfriend is trying to make a harem right now. Is there like a library of spell books I can read? I feel like that would be a good investment for me. Yes, after your physical training. Also, fuck off with the physical training, you said. Just give me the books and go away for a few hours and let me figure something out. I do not understand why you're so keen on keeping that belly fat of yours, she said. And I don't understand why you insist on dragging me everywhere when you apparently have a boyfriend. Your attitude is refreshing, she said, dragging you off to her bedroom. I keep all the spell books in here for safety. Well, you will be having a combat readiness test tonight, so I suggest you prepare yourself for that. You're just trying to make me exercise, you give her a dirty lurk, and she winks at you. You can stay here and study, she said. I will, and when I win, I don't want to hear about this training crap again. And when I win, I don't want to hear you complain about any other orders I give you. Oh, chapter over. Yeah, alright. Fan just shut off. It's terrible news. Well, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. I have one more chapter of this particular story to read that's ready right now. And so that should be up soon.